Sabonani ma subscribers lama viewers AVG News. Ngumxolisi indodana kaNcube le okhuluma lani. Ngithe mina ake sikhulumeni ngedebate ekhona. Ngithemba seliyibonile indaba echayo kakhulu ku social media lapha about umafukufuku ubaba uJoshua Nkomo Sathandi, former ZAPU president oshone ngo1999 esengu vice president welizwe kunye lo vice president wezanu. Angifuni ukuthi sibuyele emuva siyekhuluma ukuthi ungene njani kuzanu, themba abaningi yakwazi. I-debate ekhona lapha into ekhanya ilokhu isatsha lamanje ukuthi umongameli webandla le-MRP umqondisi Moyo ubese Plumtree bonani kukoKhambe lapho afike akhuluma akukhulumileyo, wapha lezi izathu zakhe zokuthi wayekhulume lokho. Ngithanda ukuthi ngubeke kucace ukuthi ngesingami uMoyo angiboni ukuthi kuyadingeka ukuthi athukwe, ngoba lokho akukhulumileyo ukhulume wapha izizathu zakhe zokukhumbula ukuthi iMRP ilibandla elilwela ukuthi iZimbabwe ihlukaniswe, iMatabeleland leMidlands zizimele zodwa. Ngakho yena ukhulume from an ideological point of view ye-MRP, of which we accord him his freedom of speech, but kukhona usuke kwaba khona ikakhulu kubalandeli bakhe who are members of the MRP, including those abaku NEC abahlala la uMoyo. They took it a bit further and began to call Nkomo amagama amaningi. Some called him a sellout, bathi wathengisa abantu, ayikho into ayilethe ebantwini basemathebeleleni. They said a lot of things okuyikuthi kugcine labo abathanda uNkomo bephendula ke kusibala ukuthukana okukhona. Ngiyakubona lamanje even members of the Joshua Nkomo Foundation are responding, members of ZAPU, they've responded to it, even supporters of a unitary state in Zimbabwe are responding. Without closing this debate, in fact, I'm here to open it because we would like to invite people who would like to air their views on Joshua Nkomo and the utterances from MRP, including those who support MRP, to come on board so that we discuss this issue, we debate it. I'll be moderating, I won't be debating. But before those who want to come, or before we get our guests to probably for tomorrow or later today, I would like to air my own view, both on what Umoyo said and on what those who support him have said on social media, have continued to say. We'll remember ukuthi yena uMoyo uthi yena uNkomo kungayisikho ukuthi wala, angazi kuthiwa isala kubani, kungayisikho ukuthi wala ukuthi iMatabeleland ibe le yayo i-independence yodwa ingabambananga with the rest of the country. Abantu abazange bafe ngombhuqazi wegugura wundi, izinto eMatabeleland zingcono. So that's what he's saying as he pushes for secession. Now we need to remember one thing. Nkomo, a party that he led was called the Zimbabwe African People's Union. It was in Matabeleland African People's Union. And amasotsha ezipra abengaphansi kweZAPU alwile, siyakwazi ukuthi akhulula iHurungwe. They fought in a number of provinces. They didn't just fight eMatabeleland kuphela, they fought all over Zimbabwe. Besingesikhathi sempi besilwa nohulumende wongcindezelo. They didn't just fight eMatabeleland kuphela, they fought all over the country, including in Mashonaland. So uNkomo bezathi esekhulule ilizwe lonke elilokade lilwela, abesejika futhi athi yena usefuna iMatabeleland yodwa kanjani? That is the question that we should be asking ourselves. So is it justified to say ukuthi uNkomo wathengisa ngoba wayala ukuthatha iMatabeleland yodwa ebingayisiyo kade vele ilwela? And then you will remember futhi the other dynamic ukuthi ngesikhathi izaphu yona leyo kuthiwa uNkomo wayala khona ukuthi yethatha iMatabeleland. The constitution of izaphu, how was it constituted iNEC yankhona? Was it only Ndebelezi? You will know ukuthi it was a combination of Zimbabweans from different tribes. So uNkomo, if he had then said lina hambani who are not from Matabeleland thina sesithatha iMatabeleland, would that work out yini? What was going to happen to izaphu? Was we not going to be outvoted yini NEC? Because unless we are saying ukuthi uNkomo kwakumele ukuthi abe lidictator abesetshela abantu ukuthi no thina sesifuna iMatabeleland thina hambani boJosachi namano asisalifuni lapha, Joseph Msika asisalifuni hambani liye emaswingo yenu thina sesithatha iMatabeleland. Was it gonna work? Right. The other dynamic, you know ukuthi izanla like also was fighting for iZimbabwe. Are we certain ukuthi uNkomo ngabe besethe yena usefuna iMatabeleland yodwa, there wasn't gonna be a civil war? Because the other part, izanu, they were also fighting for the whole country. They were not only fighting for Mashonaland. Were they not then gonna go into a civil war balwe with izaphu? These are the dynamics that we should consider. So before we start blaming uNkomo, before we start saying ukuthi it was a given ukuthi uNkomo if he had said semfuni iMatabeleland yodwa safuni the rest of Zimbabwe, izinto bezizowork out. This is something who on hindsight fails to then, it's somebody who on hindsight fails to factor in izinto ezinjengazona lezo ezihlukeneyo. It doesn't follow ukuthi if uNkomo eyedwa decided ukuthi mina sengifuna iMatabeleland yodwa, then it was gonna be like that. And are we saying ukuthi this was not even a consideration? Maybe you may find ukuthi vele if he had tried that, of which we know ukuthi Joshua Nkomo would not have tried that, because if he even died fighting for an equal Zimbabwe, for an equal society out of Zimbabweans, he wasn't gonna even think about that. Even if he could have thought about that, it's not certain what it was gonna work, because we're talking about a party which had a number of people who came from different parts of the country, who spoke different languages, who were brought together by this need or this vision of a Zimbabwe which is prosperous, but also a Zimbabwe which is united in terms of race and in terms of tribe. So it doesn't work for us to then continue to blame him for his ideological beliefs. If we believe ukuthi abantu would have wanted, or if we believe ukuthi it's better ukuthi iMatabeleland ibe separate from the rest of Zimbabwe, then let us sell that to our people, not ukuthi sibe blame our heroes, because uNkomo is a hero. There is none like him. Even those who are trying to ride on his purported mistakes will never match him. They are not matching him now. They will never match him. And also let us remember ukuthi even if izaphu had decided ukuthi okay thina sesifuna iMatabeleland yodwa, whether they're going to win the elections, you will know ukuthi uChief Khaisa Ndiweni ngo-1980 he campaigned and contested for a federal state in which iMatabeleland was going to be on its own. But we know what happened. We know how that panned out. uKhaisa embarrassingly lost, which means ukuthi the people of Matabeleland themselves did not want a separate state out of Zimbabwe. They voted overwhelmingly for a ZAPU which wanted a unitary state out of Zimbabwe, which means the decision that ZAPU took was the decision of the people of Matabeleland, because they voted ZAPU against uKhaisa, who wanted a federal state, who wanted iMatabeleland to stand on its own. Even those that are today saying Nkomo this, Nkomo that, we have seen them embarrassingly lose elections They contested in 2018. They embarrassingly lost. We are seeing Amaradi's Abo now. They are still nowhere near what those who are representing a unitary state are going for. So at the end of the day, it's a clear indication that even in 2023, these people who are fighting for a separate state out of Matabeleland are going to embarrassingly lose. So the job at hand now should be that of trying to convince the people on your ideology. And you cannot convince the people on your ideology by blaming Nkomo on more than 23 years, close to 23 years, washona. You have failed to outdo him. You have failed to get the support that he got 23 years after his demise. And you still want to ride on the purported failures or the purported mistakes that he committed. So at the end of the day, I don't think Uguti, there is any political capital that can be gained from pointing out our mistakes Nkomo or from blaming Nkomo 23 years after his death. We are here now. Some of us are the age that Joshua Nkomo was when he first began to fight for Zimbabwe. What is it that we are doing? I think this is the critical issue that we should be discussing. No, tina sifuna loku la loku la loku, because this is how it is going to work out for us. Far from blaming, let us implement that which we think is going to work for us. Asizameni ukuthi sibe zinkokheli ezilwela lokho ezikubona kufanele by preaching it out there so that the people will buy. Nkomo went out there, he convinced the people to follow him. Let us do that. He didn't talk about uLobhengula. We know ukuthi kulabantu who were blaming uLobhengula, was still blaming uLobhengula. Even these people who are fighting right now, abanye bathi hey uLobhengula wathengisa, abanye bathi uNkomo. Vele, why should it be about who sold out? And why do we believe somebody sold out? Because for you to say I've sold out, we should have at some point agreed ukuthi thina senza lokhu la lokhu la lokhu. Njengalokho eselifuna ukuthi uNkomo ngabe wakwenza ukuthi bathi besuke besithi bayalwela iZimbabwe in a party that was formed by people who came from different areas in Zimbabwe. Bagcina sebesithi uNkomo ngcono asikhokhele because simbona as the person who can drive this forward, as the person who is part of this idea. Then that would have been selling out. So for us to say ukuthi Umxolisi has sold out, Umxolisi should have first agreed ukuthi this is the path that we're taking. Then abesefika phambili sesithi mna sengijika sensenzo kwami. So the debate is, did Nkomo lead to the slaughter of the people of Matabeleland? And the issue is, why should we blame the victim when we know the perpetrator? Because Nkomo didn't kill anyone. He didn't kill the people. He didn't kill the 20,000 people that were killed by Kukurahundi. Nkomo did what was right. Nkomo continued on the path that they'd started with the rest of the freedom fighting movement, with the rest of the freedom fighters at that particular time. He continued on that party. On that path, he didn't sell out as we wanted him to, and they convinced the people that this was the right thing to do. So Tina, if we believe ukuthi now is cutting because of the dynamics that have followed, so then let us also go out there and convince the people. Let us not blame those who were there before us. Nkomo azange athi uLobhengula wathengisa. Nkomo fought the battle that uLobhengula had left on the way unfinished. He completed the battle. If we believe that there is still another lap to run, let us then continue that lap. So if you believe that you have anything to add, or you have another view on this which is separate from what has been presented out there, or which supports what has been presented out there, just get in touch with us under the comments section, and we'll invite you on the platform. The idea is to have 2 or 3 people discussing this in a panel. So please contact us via the comments section. Then we'll contact you, give us your contact details, then we'll get back to you. For now, please subscribe to this channel, like this video, and share it. Thank you very much.